As a dark, monstrous force floods the area, chaos erupts. A red-haired man, Ding Chungqiu, urgently commands his companions to flee. Shadows twist behind him, manifesting as a wave of demonic energy. He declares that he has unleashed a flood born from sheer desire, his face filled with resolve. The black wave engulfs the fleeing enemies. They scream in agony, their faces twisted in horror. One accuses Ding Chungqiu, calling him unworthy and blaming him for their fate. Even as they're overwhelmed, some lash out in desperation, mocking his lower level and calling him trash. As the tide of darkness surges closer, Ding Chungqiu looks back with a mocking grin. He ridicules the enemy's slow pace, taunting that they wouldn't even be able to catch up with his trailing fart. Inside a cavern, the group finally takes a moment to catch their breath. Gasping, Ding Chungqiu questions why such powerful enemies came after someone like him. He reminds his group that they aren't ordinary cultivators. They're part of a great sect. He recalls that just 2 days ago, another team from their group had been wiped out by the Demon Valley's monstrous threat with serious expressions. They realize this was no accident. He intentionally lured the flood into Demon Valley as a strategic move. A woman named Nangong Yan, with green hair, steps forward confidently. When asked if she fears being consumed by the wave of desire, she responds with a smirk, explaining her mastery of black magic water techniques keeps her safe as long as she stays cautious. Nearby, Ding Chungqiu reflects bitterly on how the wave has claimed over 30 lives, but ironically spared the one they needed most. With the crisis behind them, she instructs the group to prepare for their return to Great Sia. They are to resume the international competition against the 3 overseas islands, carrying the hopes of their nation. Despite her motivation, Ding Chungqiu sighs, worried their enemies have progressed further through unique paths. He acknowledges that the 3 islands excel in professions like discovering inscriptions and elements, fields where they clearly hold an advantage. Still, Nangong Yan encourages them not to lose heart before the contest even begins. She reminds them it's been 50 years since the last competition, and perhaps the current generation overseas isn't as strong. He agrees, noting that even if they can't win, they mustn't lose badly. Ding Chungqiu reveals that the competition was revived due to the emergence of an extraordinary talent from their own headquarters. He identifies him as Jiang Chen, a prodigy of the 793rd generation. He adds that this young genius possesses a dual god-level profession and wields a terrifying power, the forbidden 9-winged miasma. Nangong Yan explains how the 9-winged miasma has already multiplied by millions. She reveals that Jiang Wushan personally altered the taboo laws of Great Xia just to support Jiang, highlighting the exceptional influence Jiang holds. Ding Chungqiu praises Nangong Yan for her reliable intel, noting it's fitting for the leader of the 790th generation. He recalls her past achievements, especially how she once turned the tide of battle and secured victory on the Qinglan battlefield with her strength alone. Nangong Yan compliments Ding Chungqiu for ranking second in the 788th generation. Embarrassed, he laughs awkwardly and pleads with her not to bring up his ranking. When she jokingly challenges him, he quickly backs off, admitting he can't win against her and doesn't dare offend her. The mood shifts as Nangong Yan reflects on the brutal reality of the competition. She explains that only Jiang from the 793rd generation will be participating, while most others are gone. One prodigy, Ji Yan of the 784th generation, was captured and tortured to death by the primordial gods. In truth, fewer than half of the former generation's geniuses remain alive today. Nangong Yan reveals that the champion of the 781st class is still alive and will serve as their team leader. She recounts how this man defeated the second-ranked genius of the Demon Clan 3 years ago. 2 years later, he survived an ambush by the primordial demons, slaying 3 level 6 demons before vanishing. Now, news arrives that he has returned to Pojin City and will meet Jiang Wushan soon. Ding Chungqiu reacts with excitement, Thrilled that his idol is still alive and ready to join them, overwhelmed with joy, he eagerly prepares to meet this legendary warrior. In Pojin City, the Xuanji champion meets with Wuji. The elder notes how much the young man has changed, recalling his youthful energy from 10 years ago. He expresses amazement that the man has now earned the fearsome title of Sword Demon. Wuji humbly replies that he was simply fortunate to survive the abyss. Xuanji asks whether he feels confident leading the team against the 3 overseas islands. Wuji admits he's unsure. He explains how the overseas islands have taken the job changer system to its peak, producing beings comparable to gods. Still, he emphasizes that this competition is only the first step. Winning or losing is not what matters most. Wuji questions whether Jiang is the one behind everything. Xuanji confirms, emphasizing that Jiang is no ordinary individual. He adds that if Jiang executes his plan perfectly, even the combined strength of the 3 overseas islands won't be enough to stop him. With a firm expression, Wuji vows to protect Jiang Chen. Jiang, surprised by the bold declaration, acknowledges the weight of his words. Despite following the path of the ruthless sword Dao, Wuji explains that the principle of safeguarding others is etched into his soul. He believes it is his duty to protect Jiang Chen, who is not only supported by the martial god, but is also seen as the future of Great Xia. Xuanji expresses his gratitude for the strength and promise of this new generation. He then warns Wuji of a hidden danger. An unusual energy was detected in the Gobi Desert, 2,000 miles southwest of Amudo City. Though it vanished suddenly, he suspects an assassination trap has been set there, and Jiang may already be walking into it. When asked why he didn't stop Jiang Chen, Xuanji gives 3 reasons. First, Jiang Chen's master wants him to gain more experience, even if it comes with pain. Second, Jiang possesses many trump cards, making him difficult to kill. Finally, while Wuji can protect him, he cannot restrict his actions. Curious, Xuanji asks why he keeps such secrets. In the vast Gobi Desert, bathed in the glow of sunset, Jiang stands in the desert, scanning the area. He's tracking a mysterious woman who vanished after escaping a base. She had changed directions 3 times before disappearing without a trace. Even abilities like the Eye of Nothingness couldn't detect her aura. Her sudden disappearance feels unnatural. Too clean, too suspicious. Xiao Chan emerges, glowing with ethereal energy. On command, she begins predicting the future within the next 30 seconds. Her wings scattering light as she activates her ability. The vision reveals silhouettes of powerful figures. One even at the 8th level, Jiang, pleased, notes that the barrier surrounding them will not only conceal the scene, but make killing far more efficient. From a distant ridge, mounted warriors observe Jiang standing still. One of them questions if their holy light warp has failed or if Jiang somehow noticed them. Another dismisses the idea, confident that if he had detected them, he would have already escaped. They remind each other of their plan, to trap him. Realizing Jiang is just outside the warp's maximum range, they must either lure him forward or reposition the entire team closer, though that risks revealing their presence. He alerts the others to remain still. Reinforcements seem to have arrived unexpectedly, catching them off guard just as the trap was about to be sprung. Ding Chunkyu rushes forward with urgency, shouting for Jiang to stop. He warns of the ambush ahead, his team trailing closely behind, all determined to protect him. Jiang glances back. He's already aware of the ambush and internally questions who these enthusiastic people are. He finds their timing suspicious, wondering if they're truly just concerned allies. Realizing he can't risk getting them involved, Jiang channels his power. Blue energy flares around him as he resolves to eliminate the enemies faster, determined to shield his unexpected allies from harm. As Jiang charges into the trap, Ding Chunkyu and his group watch in shock. They can't understand why he ran straight into danger right after they called out to warn him. They reach the barrier, only to find it sealed shut due to a time-space dislocation. Ding Chunkyu slams his fists down, cursing their inability to follow. With no way to get through, all they can do is wait helplessly outside as Jiang faces the threat alone. Inside the barrier, an enemy mocks Jiang for prioritizing others over himself. With the holy light warp sealed, no one can come to his aid now. He compares Jiang to a turtle trapped in a jar, but Jiang cuts him off, challenging them all to attack together instead of wasting time with talk. Jiang glares at the shadows, declaring that assassins are never fair. They always hide in the dark, surrounded by a swarm of black energy. He warns them that if they won't come out, he'll drag them out himself. He stands firm within the purple vortex, calling out the futility of the enemy's concealment. He mocks their assassin tricks, stating the barrier only isolates the outside. With a commanding tone, he unleashes his bugs, ordering them to devour everything in sight. Panic spreads as Kato A is urged to take control of the nine-winged miasma. But it's too late. The miasma rages out of control, swarming the battlefield. The enemy realizes the loss of control is like losing a limb, pushing everyone to act fast before the situation worsens. Despite interference, Jiang remains calm. His companion warns him the new insect babies are being controlled, but Jiang sees through the trick, knowing the enemy can't truly command such numbers. He instructs the swarm to keep attacking until they overwhelm the opponent and his magic flute. Suddenly, the battlefield is engulfed by a surge of even more nine-winged miasma. Jiang reveals that they vastly underestimated him. He doesn't have just 1 million, but far more. The enemy panics as their information proves false, and they lose all control over the swarm. Jiang braces himself as dark dagger energy slices through the air. The force assaults not only his body, but also his soul. He grits his teeth, confused by the sinister attack that targets both physical and spiritual planes at once. Without hesitation, he unleashes his trump card, activating the divine elephant prison body at full power. Flames surge around him as he calls for support from Grandpa Tree, commanding him to eliminate the hidden enemies. A wave of destruction follows. Jiang sends a retaliatory strike through the ground, aiming to flush out the enemies lurking beneath. Not giving them a chance to regroup, Jiang summons a storm of lightning. His body pulses with thunderous power as he declares the opening of the Thunder God's eternal realm and activates the Eye of Evil for punishment. One of the assassins counters Jiang's thunderous attack by absorbing the lightning energy directly into her body. With a swift movement, Jiang conjures a new technique, Spear of Hades. Dark energy swirls around him as he prepares a lethal counterstrike. He then summons a divine light. A radiant Buddha projection forms behind him as he declares his intent to suppress demons with the power of Buddha itself elsewhere. The monk, surrounded by fallen comrades, speaks solemnly. 2 of his junior brothers have already sacrificed themselves to guard the netherworld. He vows that their deaths will not be in vain, and that no trace of dark energy will remain in this mirror world again.
This is the end of the video. If you guys want to see the next part, then don't forget to subscribe and like the video.